discuss about personal narrative. As journalists and broadcasting students, you have to know about personal narrative. Personal narrative focus on a particular real-life event that was pivotal or important for the writers. To write a strong personal narrative, start by coming up with an engaging ideas. Then write the narrative with an opening hook and a detailed, organized structures. Always review and revise the personal narrative before handing it in so it is at its best. There are many steps to write personal narrative. The first is brainstorming ideas for the narrative, writing the personal narrative, and producing the personal narrative. Brainstorming ideas for the narrative. What will you do? Focus on a memorable event or moment in your life. The personal narrative should focus on a specific event or moment that was memorable or made a big impression on you. It does not need to be a major moment as long as it feels memorable and important to you. Then expand on an important conflict in your life. Personal conflict can be great fodder for a personal narrative. Think about any strange relationship in your life or any moment of major conflict that you have experienced. Explore the conflict in detail in the narrative. Then think about the particular theme or ideas. Use a theme as a jumping off point for the narrative. Explore a theme or ideas from your perspective. Consider how the theme applies to your life and your experience thus far. Themes like poverty, isolation, sacrifice, and talent are all good options for a personal narrative. And read examples of personal narrative. Learn from good example of the genre online and in print. Research for the top personal narrative online to see what successful narrative looks like. And then writing the personal narrative. Start with a hook. Begin the personal narrative by drawing the reader in with a strong opening sentence. Use rich description and detail in the opening. Start it in action so that the reader is grabbed right away and keeps reading. Then set the scene with action. Ground the reader in the story by providing information on the main characters and the central conflict or theme. Tell the reader where the narrative is taking place and when it is taking place. Explain whether the story is about you or you and your relationship with someone else in your life. And then move chronological through the events. Go chronologically from event to event or moment to moment. This will make it easier for the reader to follow along with the narrative. Then use sensory detail and description. Focus on how things smell, sounded, tasted, felt, and looked in the scene. Paint a vivid pictures for the reader so they feel immersed in the narrative. And then finish with a moral or takeaway. Most personal narrative end with a reflection or analysis of the event. You may come up with a moral that you have, that you see with the reader based on your own experience. And then policing the personal narrative. You can read the narrative out loud. Once you have finished a draft of the personal narrative, read it aloud to yourself. Listen to how the narrative sounds out loud. Notice if there are any craft moments, awkward moments, or unclear sentences. Cycle or underline them so you can revise them later. Then show the narrative to others. Ask your friends, peer, classmate, or family member to read the narrative. Pose questions to them about the style, tone, and flow of the narrative. Ask them if the narrative feels personal, detailed, and engaging. And then revise the narrative for clarity, and length. Read over the narrative for any spelling, grammar, punctuation error. Review the narrative to make sure it is not too long, as personal narratives are usually short, no more than 1 to 5 pages long. Example of Islamic personal narrative. For example, you can discuss about Muslim. I will show you the text, but you can read by yourself. About Muslim during my 4 years at GAN, I have never personal known another practicing Muslim on campus. I know that I couldn't possibly be the only Muslim, since that's extremely unlikely. But unlike the majority of people here, I have never had the chance to connect with someone overseas religious belief. First of all, being South Asian, Pakistan specifically, I already feel like a small minority. In the GAN population, being Muslim on top of that makes me feel alone in that aspect. Through the years here, whenever I mention my religious holidays such as Eid, I can count the number of people on my hands who know what Eid could possibly be. I wouldn't say my time at GAN has been worsened by the disconnect and alienation of my religion, but it would have been a better experience knowing people of this similar minority whether with me. All of my immediate family is Muslim and all of my relatives are as well, but they make up mostly of the Muslim I know, and not being able to know any other Muslim outside of my family at school is not my ideal situation. Being Muslim is incredibly important to me and my life, because not only does it frame the way I live my life, but it also connects to my culture and my entire sense of identity, which I will define. This is the example if you would like to discuss about Muslim. Okay, so to be a good writer, you have to know how to write personal narrative. As Islamic students, you can write any text that have a topic related to Islamic. That you can take or apply many things in your experience in writing. So that Islamic content is very important today. Besides, you can learn about the topic, you can apply it in your daily activities. For today, thank you so much for your kind attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.